Back to the Basics with Big Dave, Alabama's voice for canning, homesteading, and self-reliant living.
The lights might go out, but we don't. This is your guide, your neighbor in the know, your host, Big Dave. Back to the basics.
And welcome into Back to the Basics, another beautiful Saturday. Also, let me go ahead and remind you that myself and a lot of the other people that you hear on WXJC will be at Clay off of Old Springville Road for their City Fest. It's their 250 City Fest, and we're going to do that this weekend. So we'll be there. I think the opening ceremonies are at 3:00. So we'll be there for that. And we got a whole lot of people that's coming out. A lot of the sponsors that sponsor this show. I think Crocker's going to be out there. Uh, Mike from Pro Lift Garage. There's going to be a bunch of people out there. So make sure if you have time, come out, say, hey, give us a shout, come by and, do what I do and do a lot of talking. But tonight we have a good show for you. Cause I record this on Thursday nights, but my buddy Skipper over here, we call him Skipper. Some people call him Wendell.
Yep.
Hey, as long as you call him, nobody cares. But I met Skipper because he is the producer of the Land Show, and he also has a company called Little John Studio. Am I right, Skipper?
That's right. Little John Studios started that back, in right around 2018, and I was voice tracking for some stations and doing DJ shows, rock and classic rock, country, and it kind of dominoed into the studio. When COVID happened, we kind of expanded because we had people wanting stuff done, but you couldn't really go anywhere.
Right,
and,
right.
I started picking up more stations, doing work for them, and started doing the Land Show with Jonathan Good back when it was Dave and Johnny.
Yep.
And now, of course, it's Farm and Forest. And you want me to better guy than Jonathan Good. I mean, he is a class act. He is absolutely one of the finest individuals I believe I've ever met. Family.
Well, we're gonna try to get him on this show. I want to get him on this show because he comes on right after us on Saturday mornings, and so me and you talk back and forth because I program the show or I program the station. So you send me the stuff and I put it on the station and get it ready for everyone to enjoy. And I'm gonna tell you, guys, y'all, a little bit behind the scenes is I get to hear the Land Show before anybody else does, except for Skipper and Johnny.
Except for me, I get to hear it when we're doing it,
Right, right. But as far as anyone away from there, I sit there and listen to it while I'm doing other stuff and all that. But let's kick off with a little bit of prepping. And you prep a little bit, look, let me go ahead and preference this while you're here. I'm not a doomsday prepper. I'm not a doomsday prepper. I don't like doomsday prepper. I don't even like to call it prepping. I like to call it self-reliant living.
Right.
Because it's exactly what my grandmother, my great grandmother, and everyone did. up until the microwave was invented, I think. And the microwave is the reason that people have gotten so everything now, everything now.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you, and after you answer, um, is: are we heading into a recession, or are we already there?
You know, I I watch a lot of this stuff being in media and working with news talk stations. Uh, uh, Also, there's a guy in Texas that does some work at the stations that I work with named David Blackman,
Okay.
and he is a he has studied and worked in the petroleum industries as as a an author, a reporter. He has worked with them as in charting the ups and downs of the oil business, and he is probably one of the most authoritative people that I have ever met that knows the petroleum business. And the reason that I'm bringing that up is because you can watch the paper industry, which is kind of a thing that's been on the downside a little bit with computers and paperless.
Yeah.
It's not quite as much anymore, but if you start seeing a downturn there, and of course, watch the markets, and when you have a guy like David Blackman who will, when the Straits of Hormuz, when Trump had all that shut down with the war, with Iran, um, he he said, as soon as that ends, things are going to start coming back. I think that we have been in a slump. There's a lot of doom and gloom that keeps coming out, and David has said this about the numbers and the economy numbers, and you'll get a lot of doom and gloom from the alphabet networks,
Yep.
ABC, CBS, NBC, but things are a lot better than you will see them discuss on the air. I mean, they kind of err on the negative side of everything. I think things are going to be great. Housing market is down a little bit. It's basically flat. It has been up and it comes down. It goes up. It's come down a little bit. In the area where I live, it's leveled out, but the
Yeah.
projections are all very optimistic. And I think that since they have kind of ended this thing in the straits, along with a lot of other stuff I'm seeing and a lot of production coming in. When things go bad, one of the first things that a lot of people will cancel is their advertising, and we're just gangbusters here. Little John Studios has just been wide open.
Well, yeah, I understand that too, but I kind of have a little bit of a different approach about it. I think we're in a quiet recession now. Uh, I do 99% of the grocery shopping for this house.
Mm-hmm.
You can see all my stuff behind me, and it's out in the garage and in the pantry, and I probably got some over here under the bed. I stack it. My motto is stack it from the floor to the ceiling. Um, and I'm seeing a lot of stuff and going up. And the one thing that I haven't seen is anybody's paychecks going up. You know, that's not happening. You know, I think I know Canada just went through, they call it a recession because Canada just had two, uh, two markets of negative growth in the last 2 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
So they're already starting to see a silent recession.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're getting into a silent recession and have been but you were talking about out in Texas. I interviewed, I think 3 weeks ago, Pete, and he's the roaming prepper. And I interviewed him, and he works in the oil field industry and pulls it all. And he's, with the straits and all that. Now I'm gonna tell you, gas prices aren't near as bad as they were in June of 2022, which they were at $5. But middle of May, I mean, I'm seeing gas prices come down now, but I mean, we're still right around the average of between $3.50 and $4 around here. What are y'all looking like down there? About the same?
We're down to around 320 in some places.
Okay.
And I think it's going to continue to fall. And that was one of the things that I've been watching. My understanding of it is, as more time passes, a lot of these different conglomerates that buy fuel to resell, that you see like Walmart, Costco get it a little cheaper because they buy so much more than some service station chains will buy. The thing that I'm seeing is that a lot of the gas that is still being pumped at a lot of the stations was purchased at higher amounts, and we're not seeing that quick fall off with the straits being opened up. I think, my projection is that I think within a month or so,
okay,
you're going to see prices back down well below $3 a gallon. I saw 2 reports. One said that they think that it may fall back as low as $2.50 and could possibly go to $2.25 at some point. But it's going to be a while before we get there.
All right, guys, we're fixing to run out to our first break. And when we come back, we're going to finish discussion of all of this stuff. And we will be back in just a minute. Y'all stay tuned.
If you trust the government, I don't trust you. Nothing personal. I just know you don't do any research.
Back to the Basics with Big Dave.
And welcome back into Back to the Basics with Big Dave. Got my buddy Skipper here from Little John Studios. He's hanging out with me tonight, and we're going to continue on with I have notes. I don't know if you do that, but I do.
The older I get, the more notes I take.
Trust me, I'm that way. One of the things that I seen, and going back to the recession part, and half of the U.S. households are struggling to afford the basics. Mm-hmm. People are turn to personal loans and credit cards to buy what they need just for day-to-day living. That's a lot,
I don't understand. I mean, I understand people being stretched to the point that they have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
When I was young, right out of college, I had some credit cards and kind of got a little carried away with it. Got a little bit of a financial bind, and I paid those things off. And I just decided if the good Lord was with me and would help me make a living and help me make money, I would try to pay my way as I go. And I have not had a credit card. I can't remember the last time I had a credit card. I remember having those, and I think I got one later on after I paid out of the debt that I was in.
Yeah.
and I kept it a while, and I didn't use it much because I started paying as I go. Now I know a lot of people don't have that privilege, but God blessed me, and I was able to get jobs. I was able to stay in jobs, and that's what I did. Um, it is a hard road to go, and you know, folks that are using the credit cards, you can't let it get, you know, you just can't go too far with it.
Right.
And I know it's a necessity, but it kind of breaks my heart that folks are in that situation, that there's so many people that are dependent on that and are,
Hmm.
you know, when you just pay a little bit on it, it takes so long to pay it off.
Oh
And
yeah, I mean you're looking at 45 years if you pay the minimum on something. But one of the things that I was going to ask you,
Mhm.
uh, are you seeing a major shift in people spending money and looking for value?
I believe I do, because a lot of my friends and the people that I talk to, you know, we share things with each other. You know, I grew up. My father was a pulpwooder,
Hmm.
had his own little pulpwood company, and my mother was a homemaker. She stayed at the house.
Yeah.
She saw that I got to school. She had supper on the table every night, and I can't tell you how many uh, days that I sat on the floor in our kitchen shucking corn
Oh
and,
well,
and
guess
her
what?
putting it up, and I would be shucking it as quick as she could get it and cut it and put it up, bag it. You know,
Well,
is what.
guess what? Guess what I was doing before we started the show tonight? I
Don't
was
tell me
in
it
the
wasn't
kitchen,
corn.
20 20 ears of corn that I picked up,
Hmm.
and I cut it, I shucked it, and I vacuum sealed it. They're in the freezer now for later on this summer or in the winter.
People don't realize that that is a great way. I mean, even if you're not a prepper, if you're not an, you know, some people are like, oh, if the world ends, I want to have enough food. We have always had a big stockpile of food, and we still to this day. My mother kind of instilled that in me. I was an only child,
Yeah.
and so I was all of the labor.
Right.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
when we would
Oh
start doing
yeah.
that kind of thing. I have shelled butter beans until my thumb was sore and I couldn't shell anymore. Purple hull peas,
Got the purple
squash.
thumb. Had the purple thumb from the
Yeah,
purple
had the
hull
purple
piece.
thumb, and we would sit on the front porch with our pans and bushels of peas that my mother had gone and gotten,
Yep.
and we would do that, and she would put them up, and we always had a freezer full of food. My father was a great provider, but there were times when, you know, even like, especially I remember back in the 70s when the gas shortages were going on during the Clinton
Even
administration.
in odds, even in odd days.
We had some times that dad, they could, that, you know, they were able to get to the woods to cut, but the mills were not buying it,
Right.
because they didn't, you know, the wood yards didn't have the sales, and that freezer sustained us.
Oh yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
we would go hunting. My dad would go hunting, get a deer. We'd have it butchered. We'd have it put up. Yeah, and we would have meat. We would have pea. We'd have fresh, and we had supper on the table every night. And that was my mother's diligence. She was so good at that and making sure that that freezer was always stocked up just in case.
Oh yeah.
And if
Well,
more
you
people would
know,
start doing that, there would probably be no so much debt. But you know, I know people right now that are week to week with their paychecks, and they never put anything up, and I don't
right.
understand that. You know.
Well, I can look. Let me counter on not being able to put things up. I can understand some of it
Hmm.
because everything is more expensive now.
Right.
Uh, you know, I was telling you before the show, I have a daughter and son-in-law. My son-in-law works, got a great job with UPS.
Hmm.
She stays home with the 4 boys, and she's got
Right.
another one on the way. And I probably have here I could go at least 5 months. I'm trying to get to 6, but I've noticed myself, I eat through my rotation, what I have stored.
Right.
But I'm noticing that when I go to the store here lately, I'm not buying that extra to put back in because I really don't have the cash to do it right now. You know what I mean? Because stuff is so much more expensive. I'm using more of my preps than I usually do. In the last, probably this year in 2026, I'm using more of my preps off my shelves than I did last year and the year before. If I, if I bought a pound of pasta, I'd buy 2. Well, I've
Right.
noticed here lately, I'm only buying the 1 because I'm like, I need to try to hold on to some of this cash.
Well, another thing too, that's sad in a way is that when I was growing up, and you may have been the same way, uh, we had a father that worked and a mom that was at home. And a lot of times now, a lot of these younger couples, I know some younger couples at church, they both have to work to make a living. They've got good jobs, but if they want to have a nice house and they want to start a family, they got to both be out there. And I know that it's hard for a lot of people that work a 40, 50-hour week. They come in, they probably on the weekends, the last thing that they want to do is spend an entire day canning, or putting something up. And I think that's hurt folks as well. And one of the reasons a lot of people don't put up, they don't have time. The way that we're kind of structured now, you do have people that do, but you got a lot of families where,
Do
husband and wife both doing 40, 50 hours a week.
Well, speaking of myself, me and my wife we both work full time. I come home in the afternoon and I come in and take the dog out. I come in here. I sit down for about 10 minutes, relax for a minute. Then I get up and I go to the dining room or to the kitchen, and I am either cutting potatoes, doing corn. I shucked all that corn. Me and my father-in-law did tonight. Got it put in the vacuum sealer bags and vacuum sealed it, put it in the freezer, and then I started on supper.
Right.
Because I do the majority of cooking here. But one of the things that I do is that I have a, that I bought this year, and I'm going to tell you, it was the best investment I ever did, was a Nesco electric canner.
Yeah.
And if I can just do 4 quarts or, 5 pints or whatever, as long as I'm going forward in doing what I'm doing, because like all this right up here, that's chicken. And then I have on this side over here, it's all the beef. Now, a lot of that is beef that I bought before it started going crazy. But, all right, guys, we're fixing to go out to another break, bottom of the hour, and we will see you in just a minute.
Would you try to survive the apocalypse?
Is that not what we're doing now?
Back to the basics with Big Dave. Contact the show. Email bigdave3xl@gmail.com.
And welcome back into the show. Dave, got my buddy Skipper here. Yay, Skipper. Let me ask you one of the things that I've got one question that I'm gonna ask you in the last segment that I've been asking everybody here lately, but how are you hedging your bets against the silent inflation. Are you doing anything different? Have you changed the way you do stuff? Are you still doing it the same as you were?
Um, yes, I have cut back on a lot of things, uh, and I try to be as frugal as I can be.
Amen, brother. Preach it.
And I since the we built Little John Studios, uh, which is actually at my house. I have an upstairs area, which I'm in now, and we have a studio up here. We have a place for podcasting, which is off to my left. We have a music library. We have a place we can green screen, blue screen, and I do have some partners that I work with that we work remotely. We get on like we are now on this
Yeah.
the magic of technology. So I don't make as many trips as I used to. I go to and I also buy bulk.
I do too. Yep.
Once in a blue moon, if something strange happens, I might make a trip to Walmart. But most of the time, we go to Costco. We buy bulk, the stuff that we use, that the store bought things. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And every year, starting about 5 years ago, I had not gardened other than maybe doing some tomatoes or what my dad used to call potted squash. I don't know if you've ever grown it that way in a pot and train it to go straight up. And we started a garden in the backyard.
Yep.
We're doing squash, tomatoes, onions, jalapeno peppers. We were doing some butter beans, and we're doing some peas. And we put a lot of that up. We grow more than we would use normally.
Mm-hmm.
We got a large place in the back, and so we started doing that. And we try to, we work and we live here, and where we used to go out and eat a lot, in from 2000 up until about 2017. And prior to that, it was nothing to just, hey, what do you want to do for supper? Let's go to Applebee's. Let's go here. We go there.
Go to Applebee's, Chili's, steakhouse.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore. And another thing too, and the older I got real serious about trying to be as in good a health as I could be.
Mm-hmm.
And we cut out fast food. We don't really do fast food anymore.
Yeah.
With one caveat, the grandkids occasionally love to have some chicken nuggets, and we'll get those for them. But we don't normally we don't eat out. We cook all of our meals here. We eat here, and I work here. And the better half has an office. She has her own business in Montgomery. She's a colon hydrotherapist, and she's been doing that for 38 years.
Wow.
And she goes into her office and works, but she drives in and then she comes back, and she books her appointments. Since she is primarily the one person that runs the business, she'll book her appointments and she'll go in and do it. She'll eat breakfast here. She'll go do appointments. She'll come back home. And then, we eat in the afternoon, and that has helped a lot. That saved a lot of money. We also cut back on streaming services. We don't do cable television. Being in a production house like we have here, we kind of make our own fun. We got an arsenal here of music to listen to. And we have Prime, and we download certain things that we want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't spend as much time with the TV. We just don't let that, used to, you come home and at night you'd have a little supper and you sit down and you'd watch TV from 7 o'clock until it was time to go to bed after the news went off.
Right.
We don't do that. We don't do that. We get our news online, and we do other things. So we spend time reading, we spend time together and doing that. And that change of lifestyle has been responsible for a lot of savings. And
I can see that. One of
I
the
like
things,
it better. I like it a lot better than what we used to do.
dude, I mean, I was just, I was sitting here looking, at some notes that I had done in my little book. I carry this thing with me all the time, and I noticed on 6/20, which was last week, or really 6/20,
Mhm.
and now it's 6/25.
Yep.
So on 6/20, I had picked 165 tomatoes up to that date.
Nice.
As of tonight, I have picked 225 tomatoes. That I picked 60 in what, in 5 days.
Yeah. I
And
wish I was that diligent to like keep up with what we bring in. We go out and pick, and to use my mother's terminology, we got us a mess of tomatoes.
yeah,
And
yeah. Well, the only reason I'm doing it,
I think
the only
that's
reason,
great.
the only reason I did it this year is uh this past January a year ago, my mother-in-law passed away,
Oh,
and
sorry.
so we ended up selling everything,
Hmm.
and we moved in with my father-in-law.
Ah,
I now live in a HOA. It's harder to do a garden and all that. So I put 12 tomato plants back here in the back in raised beds, and me and him have been doing this, and I've got, 2 cucumber plants and crookneck squash. I've got some I got my Roma tomatoes. I got,
oh,
and then because I love making pasta sauce.
hmm,
And then I have some big boys and stuff like that, what I call sandwich tomatoes.
yes.
We had to have them, and my father-in-law's been eating the crap out of them. He loves a good tomato
Ain't
sandwich.
nothing better in the summertime than to have a tomato sandwich and have that piece of tomato that's big as that piece of bread.
Right, right.
And
So,
that's
I've
all.
been I've been doing a lot of that kind of stuff because I don't have a place to be able to really garden. And this is kind of mine and his thing. So we started counting just to see how fun. And I went online and I have 12 plants. Excuse me. And for them 12 plants, I asked it, what is the average yield? And it said between 160 to 180.
Mhm.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm at 225.
That's awesome.
For the first time in my life, I'm above average.
Well, now I don't know about that. You pretty above average guy.
But I was
You
like, and then I had a buddy of mine go, except in your weight, Big Dave, you're above average. And I'm like, okay, take my fun away. Just take my fun away. But that's just, we have cable here,
hmm,
and the main reason is because my father-in-law's at home all day.
hmm,
Okay, he don't work. He's
right.
retired. He's 79, 80 years old.
Yep.
Um, Super nice guy, super great guy, great health.
Hmm,
Uh, he's liable to be here another 20 or 30 years.
hmm.
He's in better health than I am. But the crazy thing is we have the cable, but I don't watch any of it. He watches and watches it in the living room and everything. And I watch everything on these two computers right here.
Hmm.
And I do have a TV right above my right shoulder that I
Right.
might watch YouTube on.
Hmm.
I might watch YouTube, but I don't watch regular TV. My wife will sit in there with him and they're watching The Voice and American Idol and all this, and they'll start talking about it. And I go, "Oh yeah, did you see such and such the other night? They did real good." And they're like,
Yeah.
"How in the world did you know about that? You wasn't sitting in here watching that." I said, "I seen the clips online. I didn't have to watch. I didn't have to sit down and watch the whole show to get the highlights. It's kind of like watching a football reel, getting the highlights on ESPN."
I thought at one time when I was much, much younger and in college that I wanted to uh, do television production or movie production and that kind of thing. And uh, never decided not to go that direction. I've worked in media my entire life. From the time that I was in, I started when I was in high school.
Yeah.
In the late 70s, and never really made it out to Hollywood, never made it to one of the networks to do TV or anything like that. But I'm a big old movie fan myself, and the majority of my television watching is classic movies. And
Oh,
we have amassed over the years, I mean, we've got just about every classic movie. And the things that I like, I like all of those older things like John Wayne movies, Jimmy Stewart movies, Cagney. I mean, just all of the greatest.
yeah. I'm not a movie buff, but I am a music buff. And guys, we're going to go out to break. And when we come back, I have the main question that I want to ask Skipper before he gets out of here tonight. And we'll be back right after this.
It's just a reminder that you and I are adults, so go do your adult things today. Be mature.
Back to the basics with Big Dave.
Gotta let this run a second. I like that. All right, guys, welcome back to the Basics with Big Dave. Got Skipper with me. He's from Little John Studio, also the producer of The Land Show. And now for the question of the night.
Okay, let me put my seatbelt on here.
Yeah, put your seatbelt on, because this and what is the best invention for prepping in your lifetime?
Oh wow,
It's a hard one. It's a hard one.
I have used so much stuff, things that my mother owned. And I know this might be a terrible answer, but I really like this thing. We dehydrate, and we do some dehydrated stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I love that I have downstairs, I have a vacuum sealer.
Yeah.
And when we make beef jerky, made some turkey jerky.
Oh, never tried turkey jerky.
We have done some really interesting stuff fooling with that thing. And when you get it done, you can slap it in there and freeze it. We've also done our own version of sun-dried tomatoes.
Yeah.
And vacuum seal them. And I'll tell you right now, I love that thing, and I love everything about it. I love the way it sounds when it does what it does. And I've had a lot of fun with that. And
it's funny because the first night that I started this about 4 or 5 weeks ago, asking everybody that comes on theirs. And the guy that I was talking to, Pete, he was talking about what his was, and I said the vacuum sealer to me is the best invention because number one, I can vacuum seal, and I think a close second to me would be the electric canner. A close second for me.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I've got to look into this because we put stuff up all the time, but we get mason jars. We do the mason jar canning.
Yeah.
And we have tomatoes, squash, beans, potatoes. We have a big pantry completely full.
Right.
And then we got another storage area in the house that we've got it completely full. And I haven't really totaled the numbers up, but I am sure that we have got a couple of months worth of food.
Yeah. Well, I mean, have you ever
more than that? But that's the thing about it, and I haven't really done like an automatic canner type thing.
Well, and the way to describe it, Skipper, it's crazy, but it's almost like you remember the old Ronco, set it and forget it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this electric canner, the Nesco, I turn it on. I put it on I put, pressure can. I put it up to the temperature. I close, put my jars in there, close the lid, turn it to vent, just like you do a regular canner. I let it vent, and it starts counting down from 0 or from 10 to 0. And then when it hits 0, it'll beep at you, and you flip it over to pressure. And then it goes and it beeps at you when you're done.
See, I guess I'm just stuck in the old way. I learned how to put stuff up with my mom.
I did too.
I've never done it any other way.
I know. I had not either. But the reason I like this one is I like to experiment with stuff.
Right.
Okay. Well, this will do 4 quarts or 5 pints. So for me, if I want to try something out, I will do it, because why am I going to do, 30 or 40 jars of something and nobody in the family likes it? I've wasted my money. But if I can do 2 jars of this and 2 jars of that, quarts, and I put it in there and then I let it sit on the shelf for a couple of weeks and then we try it, then, and people, they go, yeah, I like it, or no, I don't like it. Well, if they don't like it, I've only wasted 2 jars of food instead of, 20 jars of something. And then, oh, well, nobody liked it. So, but then when I get ready to do a big batch of, like, say, my pasta sauce, well, I put some in there and then I put some in my regular pressure canner and go to town. That just gives me 4 extra quarts or 5 extra pints to be able to do more.
I'll have to get up your way sometime. I'm going to trade you some of my canned camp stew for a jar of your pasta sauce.
Oh, I'd love it. That's awesome. That would be awesome. That's one of the things that we got a couple of more minutes that I think we should bring back the barter system.
We do it a lot. I've got some neighbors that always want, they're always like, can I get some camp stew from you? Because we make it and put it up, and we've got jars of it put up.
Yeah.
When we don't really feel like cooking one night, that's what we get. We'll get one of those jars of that out, warm it, and have it for supper.
Yeah, I got beef stew over here. It's not camp stew, but I got beef stew over there.
Right. And I've got some ladies that are in the neighborhood that can, and they do fig preserves, and got one lady that did strawberry fig preserves.
Oh, okay.
Fig preserves. And she knocked on the door one day. She said, I got you some peach, and I got you and she said, I don't suppose you'd want to trade for some of that camp stew, would you? And I said, honey, you bring me fig preserves, I'll trade with you all day. And
Well,
we do it a lot. There's about 5 or 6 of us here in our area that we'll see each other and I'll say, hey, still got some of those figs, and I'll trade you a jar, and we do that,
Yeah.
And that makes it interesting too, because something homemade is just always better to me than anything that you buy in a store, especially all the preservatives and the. I had medical issues back a while back, and the canning, and when you do your own food, and you get away from all of the dyes and all of if you buy
sodium,
you buy a can of grape jelly, and there is a list of ingredients in that grape jelly that's a quarter of the size of the back panel of the label. Why is all that stuff in there? I mean, obviously the preservatives, but if it's canned properly, it'll keep. And
I know, because in mine has got grape juice, sugar, and pectin.
And that is the only thing that should be in it. and you look at it, and there's this chemical, that chemical, stuff that you can't even pronounce. And since we have started eating like that, and really working on the canning and stocking up, so that we can always get, if we can get, I had my daughter brought me some fresh deer meat, and when you got that kind of stuff and you cooking like that and you're getting away from it, I feel better every day. But I'm going to tell you, and hot dogs and stopping in a drive-through and grabbing, a fast food burger or something like that. I just feel better now than I did then.
Right.
And I can see a real difference in how I feel and how my health
now
is.
The only thing that I will push back on you on is barbecue. Barbecue is
I have a really good
barbecue. If you go in there and get a barbecue sandwich, it's nothing but smoked meat. There's not a whole lot. I mean, as far as fast food, that's got to be the best for you.
I don't really consider barbecue fast food. It's a delicacy.
Right. It is.
Yeah, and I like to be honest with you. I've got a couple of places here near me that are just dynamite, and we will go, sometimes just get a pound or two of meat.
Mm-hmm.
Not get a sandwich, just get a pound or two of meat. And Diana occasionally will make, she will make fresh bread. And and with good ingredients, and sourdough mainly is what we do. And my daughter is a fantastic sourdough bread. I mean, she's got.
Well, bring me when you come up. Bring me some sourdough starter this way, and get me in touch with the missus so that she can teach me to do the sourdough. Guys, we are fixing to go. Thank you, Skipper, for being here. Don't forget, we are going to be out at Clay today, and the ceremony starts at 3. So come on out, and don't forget to go out to BigDaveBasics.com, BigDaveBasics.com. See you, Skipper. Appreciate it.
2 Timothy 1:7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. Don't be scared, be prepared.